Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about a new tool which we've created here at Decentrader called the Predator Momentum Oscillator, or PMO, and we're going to go over the indicator itself, but also talk about who gets access to it and all that sort of thing. So we'll do that part first. So the good news is this has been airdropped to all Predator users which have bought Predator with the toolkit, or the Decentrader Toolkit, which includes memberships to the site. So the standard membership, the advanced membership, and the alpha membership. All of you guys should already have access to this, and you may not have been alerted to it, but you can find it under your invite only scripts on TradingView. So make sure that you go and check in your invite only scripts, and you'll be able to just simply add this to the chart. If you've got any issues with that, please get in touch with support at decentrader.com, and they will assist you with understanding why not. So let's get into it then. The first thing that I wanted to mention is that there is actually some settings that we should look through here. So we have bullish and bearish divergences within the indicator which plot manually, so you can choose to add those. I don't tend to have the hidden bullish and bearish on there. I don't find the signal as useful, but they do work as you would find with a normal divergence indicator. We also have this combined asset volume for crypto only. Now the reason is that we do also look at volume within this indicator. And like with a lot of the other Decentrader tools, we combine up the volume for given tickers to try and give you a better idea of what's actually going on with the volume, rather than it being just an isolated event potentially on one of the exchanges. So you can see obviously here we're looking at BTC USD for Coinbase. So what this is going to do is it's going to add up all of the fiat pairs volume for BTC. So it's going to look at BTC USD, BTC USDT, and BUSD across all of the exchanges that we review. The same would go if it was LTC BTC, it would add up all of the LTC BTC volume across all of the exchanges that LTC is traded on. But in that instance, it would not include USD. So moving forward, we do have the indicator on the screen here, and generally if things are above the line, above this zero line here, then things are generally considered bullish, and if things are below the line, things are generally considered bearish. So quite straightforward. And with that, you can obviously see that sometimes we're plotting green lines or blue lines, however you view that, and sometimes we're also putting in some red lines. So the red bars on the histogram here show where there is declining momentum, whereas the green bars show where we have increasing momentum. So obviously we can be bearish, as we were through sort of April, May, June of 2021. We can be bearish, but sometimes momentum can start to show that things are starting to turn around. So the good thing is here, obviously we have actually got Predator on the screen as well, so we know that things weren't looking good here up back in the back end of the bull markets. We knew that anyway with Predator, but sometimes it's good to be able to see actually what's going on with momentum. So you can see here, obviously price was still leaning to the downside, but the momentum with which we were going down was rapidly decreasing. So what that allows us to do is to give us some insight before things turn around, the extent to which they might. So that was kind of missing with Predator to some extent. So this is a nice addition to that. It doesn't have to be used in isolation with Predator. It could be used just alongside standard technical analysis. But yeah, obviously it works really nicely in hand. So we're going to have a look at a few examples. So here back in July 21, we got a breakout. You can see this was indeed confirmed. Here as we crossed, we actually got a green candle on Predator as well. So not only did we know that this was potentially coming, we eventually get the actual green candle. Now what also happened down here is you can see we have strong confluence. So these green dots or green squares, these print when we have confluence in both price momentum and volume momentum. So it's like a double whammy to show you whether or not this particular move is likely to be successful bullishly or not. And here this is a great example, because not only did we flip bullish, we also got the confidence that things were good on the side of volume 2. So obviously that was a good time to be getting long. What is also worth pointing out here is that, yes, as we mentioned, this was happening. If that's happening and price is still gravitating towards support, and we do know we had a pretty strong support level across here, and momentum's going like this, you may want to just consider, do I really actually want to be short still here? Predator was still red, and what it might allow you to do is perhaps do a little bit of trade management. So maybe within all of this, you might have been seeing, okay, it's red, but we're at support. What I'm actually going to do here, given that momentum's getting weaker, or from a bearish point of view, is I'm going to trade out and try and get a higher entry again. So it enables you to sort of optimize your trading a little bit, and potentially just signify when you should go and look at shorter term time frames, which is the way that I like to trade, is look at higher time frames, find out whether or not something's bullish or bearish, and then manage it, or some I wouldn't say micromanage it, but have some insight on the lower time frames as to how to potentially optimize things within that trade. So on the 3-day, obviously we broke out over here with all this strong confidence, so it was definitely time to be long, and then you can see that we started to get up towards resistance, which we should have been expecting. Previous support tends to turn into resistance, and at the same time you can see that we started to see some bearish momentum come in to the market. Also, we start to lose the strong confluence as well. So despite Predator still being green, meaning that things are generally still bullish, we're at resistance and we're losing momentum. So that would be a big red flag where you may want to go and look at lower time frames to try and see, actually, is there a place here where I might be exiting my trade, and sure enough, the price did roll over, and this was all sort of textbook stuff. It came back to previous resistance, and it ultimately turned into support over here. That doesn't help, does it? And yes, again, strong confluence came in, so these green squares started popping up again. So it would have probably led to you getting out somewhere, or at least sort of closing maybe some of your position while we're at resistance. If you needed some of that sort of confirmation to do that, this could potentially have been that. And then we dropped into being bearish for a bit, and then things turned around and we got the confluence again. So on this teal candle here, we started seeing the bullish momentum come back in. So it may just mean that you didn't have to sweat it through all of this, this move, which came back to support. And we still did have pretty. We had a teal candle on Predator, and we were still at support. And if I remember correctly, there's loads of other things like order book support, depth, and that sort of stuff anyway. So this could have been a place to just lean back into the market. Best place would have been once we get the momentum back to the upside, so getting out and then getting back in and just avoiding this. But you may well have delved into the lower term time frames and seen that this was more likely to actually be the result, and got an entry slightly earlier. So that's an example of where you can help with this could help with trade management, but also we did, as we know, move on and actually did push on and put a new high in, but again, where we trade location time, we were up at previous all-time high, potentially resistance. It's actually exactly the same sort of move if you look at it, and you can see momentum was falling off again, and also we then subsequently plotted a bearish divergence. So price went higher, momentum did not follow, showing that the move was actually quite weak. You can see that we started losing quite a bit of momentum as well, so same sort of thing. Maybe we need to look for an exit, and then the strong confluence for bearishness came in. So unlike in the previous example, we didn't actually get any strong confluence to be bearish. Over here we definitely did, in particular on this first orange candle. So even if you'd have just ignored all of this stuff, you know, shortly thereafter, we did get that bearish candle with strong confluence. So through all of this move through here, that was the first time that that actually happened, and then the next candle confirmed it as well. So you know, that was the time to be getting short. Now sometimes things can remain bearish, but you know, the confluence goes away. In that sort of situation, like, to me, it's just sort of saying that the trend has weakened. So it's not necessarily a reason to exit the trade, but it's certainly like telling you that it's not as strong as it necessarily once was. I think a good indication to have potentially exited would have been if we'd have had a green bar plot and also had some sort of confluence, and we didn't actually really see that until down a little bit later at 37k, just some time before the lunar debacle, and you know, we did get a plot of bullish divergence. So this was a good time to at least be exiting your trade from the short side. You know, you potentially could have bought, but you know, we weren't in the bullish realms of the momentum at that point. So you know, it potentially a zoom in situation and see, you know, on the 4 hour, do I want to be actually getting long at this point or not? And that's about it really. You know, so the key points really are above the line bullish, below the line bearish. When we're plotting green bars or teal bars, shows that momentum is favoring going towards being bullish. When we plot red bars, it's showing that it's just increasing bearish momentum at that point. Key point 1 really, bearish divergences plot on the chart. Losing momentum where you have a strong confluence like we saw over here, increases the chance of downside price action, and vice versa. You know, even if we are below the line and generally bearish, and we see these green bars come in, that may indicate that there's more chance that we're going to go to the upside. But the best time for the confluence to work is when you're below the line and you have bearish, or you're above the line and you have bullish, like we saw over here. Through this part of the run and that part of the run. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a standalone indicator to use entirely on its own, but it's really good at showing where price action actually looks quite bullish and you're at resistance. Maybe actually, you know, we're seeing a momentum loss, and really what you need to do is wait for that to turn around to get back in. Or maybe what you need to do is take a little bit of pain out of the potential equation by lightening your load. Again, if you wanted to look to get into a trade, it allows you to not sort of be fooled into potentially a fake out, which is actually just like lacking momentum both in volume and in price. So I hope that's useful. As I say, if you are a Predator user after circa August 2022 and you got the toolkit included, this is free. You should already have it. And also, if you're a toolkit user, a standard user on the membership, advanced membership or alpha member, you will also already have this. So I hope that's of use. Please let me know if you have any questions. Direct them please to support@decentrader.com, and one of the team will help you out there. Otherwise, I hope that was useful.